Okay. Let me get it straight. You want your ass to grow, but it's not. And you've tried everything, and it still ain't growing. And that's why you're here. You're in the right places. Let's get into it. Hey peeps, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, before we even get into anything else, I want you guys to just subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up from the jump, because I'm just going to tell you right now, this is going to be straight fire and you are going to get so much from it that I just know you're going to like it anyways. So go ahead, give it a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video when I drop them. Today, we are going to be getting into just what it says on the tin. Literally, we're going to be going into 10 reasons why your glutes are not growing. 10 reasons. Like I can list more, but we're going to just go for 10 reasons why your glutes are not growing, and then I'm going to throw in some ways in which you can counteract that, or how you can just improve it and make sure that your bum is growing. Let's get into the real. So first things first, you're either not choosing one goal or you're not choosing the right goal first. A lot of ladies who want to increase their glutes also want to simultaneously lose body fat, and usually it's from the belly. I would say, I always advise people, first and foremost, assess where you're at and assess your goals. If you want to grow the glutes but you've got an excessive amount of body fat to lose, always go for the fat loss first, and then after that, then you can go into building lean muscle. Because the thing is, you are gonna gain some body fat whilst you're building lean muscle. Because whilst you're building lean muscle, you're gonna be in a caloric surplus. Okay, so choose the right goals and choose the right goals first. So choose fat loss or muscle building first by assessing where you're at and cross-checking that with your goals. The number 2 reason as to why your glutes may not be growing, okay, is the elephant in the room. Everyone's going to talk about it, but I just want to touch it real quick right now. Your diet, your nutrition. You're not in a caloric surplus. So when it comes to making sure that you're getting those booty gains, it's important to focus on 2 things. First things first, be in a caloric surplus. Yes, you can build glutes whilst you're in a caloric deficit. 1, only if you're a beginner, the chances are more likely. And 2, if you're more seasoned, if you've taken long off of training, like this whole pandemic, and then you get back to it, yes, you can definitely see significant growth in the glutes. And the second thing that you want to focus on is your protein intake. You will not be seeing the results that you want if you're not hitting your protein. And how do you know if you're hitting your protein? You guessed it. You need to get that calculated. If you haven't already, there is a link in my description where you can use my calorie calculator, and that will tell you how much calories you need to be taking in. So at least you know that you're in a surplus. And then if you do want to get access to the macro calculator, which tells you how much protein, carbs, and fat you need to be taking in, you can shoot me a message on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram somewhere here, and then I will tell you how you can get access to the macro calculator as well. Without protein, you will not build your muscles significantly. Okay? Simple, point blank, period. You need it. All right? The third reason as to why your glutes may not be growing as fast as you want or at all is because you're not including glute activation exercises. I know a lot of people tend to talk about this via Instagram or even here on YouTube, but glute activation exercises are a game changer. If you're not focusing on waking up those glutes, sis, you're not going to see the growth. You know why? Every day, all day, so many people, majority of the world, are sitting. We have very sedentary jobs where we're just sitting on our butts. The butt is dormant, the glutes are dormant, everything is dormant. You're just sleeping. And if you don't warm it up properly in the right way and make it aware of what you're about to do to it, it's not really gonna welcome in the gains as you start to do like your compound lifts, like your hip thrusts and so on. Okay, so you gotta wake them up. I use my glute band. It's a booty band from Cast Fitness. I will also put the link in the description box below. And yeah, I use this before every glute session, and even on the days when I'm not training glutes but I'm doing legs. So if I'm doing squats and stuff, obviously I still want my butt to grow. So even on leg days, I want to activate my glutes to make sure that they too are getting hit with whatever exercises may overlap from, let's say, quads, like quad specific, and you know, get a little bit of booty work in there. No pain in it. The next reason why you're not seeing that growth in your glutes is because you're changing up your exercises way too much. Okay, I know your favorite influencer on Instagram might be posting a booty workout today and a different booty workout on the next day, and you're like, oh Rob, this person is just doing all these different things, so I must do them too. Guys, let me tell you right now, on my Instagram, the workouts that I post on there, most of the time, I'm not doing them myself. I'm recording them for you guys, for entertainment, for people who may need a little bit of a switch up in their routine, for someone who's not as seasoned and may not want the monotony of training, you know? But to be really honest, we do the same things over and over, and you need to stick to making sure that you do the same exercises, and this is going to lead me into the next point, which is reason number, what are we on now, 5, which is progressive overload. It's important that you stick to doing an exercise for sufficient amounts of time, because your body needs to be able to adapt. Your body is gonna adapt to if you're doing the same thing over and over, but you need to increase the reps. So when it comes to progressive overload, you're not just increasing the weight. You can increase the weight, yes. You can increase the reps. You can increase the sets. You can play around with the tempo, so slow things down, a little bit more time under tension. All of that contributes to progressive overload. And if you want to see results in the glutes, you have to increase the demand on the glutes. All right, so don't be afraid to bump up the weights by a couple pounds or a couple kg every week, every couple weeks. That is the way to really see the progress. That's the only way to see the gains. Okay, your body's gonna get tired of doing the same thing over and over, same weight over and over. You know, I've seen those people in the gym. They do the same thing every single time that they come in. Okay, and a way in which that you know whether you're progressively overloading or not is by tracking it. If you don't track it, you don't know it. Maybe take a little book with you, or use the notes app in your phone, and you can just write, okay, I've done hip thrust, 60 kg, 12 reps. I've done that for 2 sets, and then I went up to 62.5 or 65 or something like that. That's the only way to know if you're actually progressively overloading over the course of your program. Okay, and you don't necessarily have to have a program done by a professional. You can also just do the program yourself, to be very honest with you. Okay, but if you do want it a bit more specific, if you're not as knowledgeable, hit someone up. You know what I'm saying? Continuing on, the reason number 6 as to why your glutes are not growing is because you are not hitting your glutes from different angles. Some people just do the same things every single time. Yes, you will see a degree of growth if you continue to progressively overload on hip thrusts, but you also want to get some abduction in. You want to do different things, hit the booty from different angles, because the glutes are not just one muscle. You've got glute medius, glute maximus, glute minimus, and you want to hit all of those things at different angles. Okay, and they require different angles in order to be specifically targeted also. And then you've got your abductors, which are the muscles on the outside of your thighs. So all of that is going to really give you that hourglass look. All right. Exercises like cable kickbacks, you can modify that so much to hit different parts of the glutes. It's absolutely insane. You can do them straight back, you can do them at a 45-degree angle, you can do them laterally. You can literally do them in so many different ways that you can just blow your glutes up, blow them up. Hip thrust, you can do them staggered, you can do single leg, you can add a band so you've got more on the abduction. Listen, I'm going to do a proper video doing glute specific exercises, and I'm going to show you guys. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see any videos like that where I run you through different glute exercises that will show you how to target the glutes from different angles. I would love to know if you guys want to see something like that. So drop it in the comment section below. Reason number 7 as to why your glutes may not be growing is you are not doing exercises to target your glutes. Yours. Not hers, not hers, not that one down the street. Yours. Okay? Everyone is different. Everyone's body is different. The length of your your thigh is different in comparison to someone else. So the placement in which you put your band, or where you place your dumbbell or your barbell, whatever, it may require some tweaking. Okay, so think about what feels right for you. Although you're gonna have influencers or trainers or whatever that are gonna show you, okay, this is how we do a hip thrust, and this is, you know, this is the way. It's really not. It's not. Nothing is set in stone, because we are all different and our body structures are different, you know, and how our muscles fire together because of how they're wired is also different. So modifications are very, very important. Altering how you do things can also result in you getting more booty gains. So don't get too caught up in placing the bar exactly where this next person places it. Focus on where you feel it the most. That is exactly where you need to be placing your bands, your bars, your whatever, how much you should be stepping out, that kind of stuff, how much heel planting you need to be doing. Sis, honestly, it's unique to every single person. So yes, it's good to have a base, but my advice on how to fix this is to play around with different placements, where you put the band on the planted leg versus the leg that's working, where you place your bar, how much extension or flexion of the hips that you get. There's so much. There's levels to it. However, play around with it and see what works for you, okay? So reason number 8 as to why your glutes may not be growing is because you're focusing on squats. First of all, squats are not a glute dominant exercise. And I need to finish that, because focusing on squats with the wrong foot placement is actually what I want to say for number 8. Squats are not bad. You need squats to strengthen your thighs. You need squats to strengthen your calves, everything. Your squats work so much. Your squats work your core, and that way you're getting a bit more stability and strength for your hip thrusts and your glute dominant exercises. You know what I'm saying? So don't neglect squats. Don't get me wrong. I love me some squats now. I didn't before, but I do now. They're growing on me. They're growing on me. It takes time. You know? But you see people go to the gym every single time, and it's like this one girl I saw in the gym, and she was just squatting every single time. She just comes in and she just squats every single time. And I'm like, I wonder what her goals are. So, you know, eventually one day she asked me in the change room, she was like, oh, are you a trainer, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. She was like, I've been training for 4 months and I'm not seeing any growth in my glutes. And I just let her finish. And she was like, yeah, I want to grow my bum a little bit more. And your bum looks like, it looks nice and whatever. Do you have any suggestions? And I was like, yeah, I see you doing your squats, and which are fantastic, by the way. But they're a bit more quad dominant. So quads are the muscles that are on the front of your thighs, by the way. So I told her she needs to focus on other exercises like the hip thrusts, the glute bridges, the cable kickbacks from time to time, the lunges, the Bulgarian split squats. These things, They will change the game. And you know what? I think it was another 2 months later, she came up to me and she let me know that she's actually been seeing progress. And how she knows she's been seeing progress is because she started to take pictures, which is very, very important, by the way. So yeah, focusing on squats, but focusing on squats with a specific foot placement is important. Getting the feet a little bit wider, not sumo, which you can do, but not sumo. I don't go for sumo. A little bit narrower. Again, play around with what works for you. But the toes are flared outwards, and you're making sure that you're getting that mind to muscle connection, and you're thinking about what it is that you're doing. And on the way down, you're still thinking about it. You're feeling that tension in the glutes, and then you're using the glutes rather than the quads to drive upwards. Okay, so it's not a case where you're dependent and the dominance is in the quads rather than in the glutes. Okay, and also driving through the heels. Driving through the heels. Whenever you drive through the heels, whatever exercise it is that you're doing that's for lower body, you tend to get a bit more glute activation or glute engagement, whatever it is that you want to call it. Okay, so focus on driving through the heels, getting those hips back a little bit more for the squats, and try not to overextend on the whole squeezing bit. Okay, drive straight up and really, really finish that squat strong. So that is tip number 8 as to why, or reason number 8 as to why your glutes may not be growing at this present time. So the next reason why your glutes may not be growing, girl, is because you are not resting. Rest is important. Okay, and until I started to prioritize rest, and I don't mean sleep, I mean rest from training, not going to the gym every day, I know you see the girls that come to the gym every week, every day, 5 days a week, and they're training their butt 5 days a week. If they were to pull back 2 more days of that, they would see significantly more growth than what they're seeing with 5. Because essentially what's happening when you're training, when you're working the glutes, is you're breaking down the fibers within the glute muscles. And then when you're resting, that is when you're anabolizing things. That's when things are going together. That is where you're getting that overlap. That's where you're getting that growth, okay? The growth does not happen during the workout. The growth happens when you're resting, when you're feeding, like refueling then. Okay, so it is super, super important to focus on the rest. And if it's a thing where you're going to the gym for that mental clarity and that mental health, and just to feel really good, because that's what it is, it is absolutely okay to do that, to go to the gym. However, my suggestion would be to throw in an upper body session here and there, to throw in some abs, to throw in some mobility work, to throw in some cardio, to throw in some stretching. Those things are the things that you can do with the other days of the week instead of hitting the glutes every single day of the week. I promise you will see way more glute growth if you focus on doing that. Okay. Last but not least, incorrect footwear is one of the main reasons why a lot of people are not seeing glute growth. Okay, I'm not even trying to be funny, but running trainers are for running. Flat trainers are for training, or training trainers are for training. Okay. I see many people training with running trainers, Pegasus, and all these free runs and stuff like that are not for training. What it is the front of the foot is now elevated because there's a little bit of a curve in running trainers. If you take a really good look at them, there's a bit of a curve. And if there's that curve, that's throwing off the way in which your feet plant. What you want when you're training, especially for lower body, you want to have your feet as flat as possible. So if it's a condition in your gym where you cannot train barefoot, which is ideal for some people, then I would say go for something like Converse if you want to have a cheap alternative. There are some training trainers that you can get. I use a pair from Nike, and then I have my Metcons from Nike as well. I have Converses. If you just want to just get something really cheap, you can buy Vans, or you can go to Shoe Zone or somewhere cheap, and you can just get one of those plimsolls that are super flat, literally like this much support, but they are very, very flat, and they allow your toes to have some space as well. Okay. Shoes play a huge role in how your glutes are going to be targeted. If you're unstable, if you're just flopping about, if you're pushing through your toes, you are not getting the most out of your exercise, and therefore out of your workout, and therefore out of your program, and therefore, you know, why are we here? You know what I'm saying? So yes, focusing on footwear is super, super important. I will see if I can get some recommendations for you, and I will drop them down in the description box below. So that is 10 reasons as to why your glutes ain't growing, and also some tips as to how you can really, really counteract that and get the most out of your sessions and get that big shelf booty that you are looking for. All right. And before I end this video, I just want to remind you that if you're doing most of those things, if you're doing all of those things, or if you want to now start doing all of those things to make sure you get the most out of your sessions, my suggestion is to just give yourself time. Time tied with consistency. So persistence and consistency, like, they go hand in hand. You have to give yourself time, or else it's a thing where you're just being unrealistic. You're not going to get massive booty growth in 8 weeks, in 12 weeks. You're really not. Massive booty growth, if you're not a beginner, no, ain't happening. Okay, it took me years to grow. Years to grow my ass. Okay, my booty, my butt. You know, it took me years, and it's going to take you years, because it takes, I think you grow like women can grow up to 1 pound of muscle a month. And I say up to because it can be less, obviously, you know. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Remember that weight loss, so fat loss, and muscle gaining or muscle building, they're two different things, and they happen at 2 different rates. So I can get women to lose 12 kg in body fat and stuff like that, and water weight and whatnot, in 28 days. I've done it before, you know. But to gain 12 kg of muscle ain't happening in 28 days. Ain't happening. It might not even happen in a year. You know what I'm saying? So be realistic, and remember that your genetics play a huge role in these results that are going to come about. And if you're not patient with yourself, you could possibly let your genetics get the best of you and frustrate you, but don't let that happen, okay? Be patient with yourself, give yourself some grace, give yourself some time, but make sure that you're putting in that work, and you will definitely reap the rewards of all of these tips that I've dropped today and of your session. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I enjoyed filming this video because I know a lot of people ask me these questions every time I drop a booty transformation on my Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram already, please do so. I'm going to leave the link in my description below. If you haven't already throughout this video, if you haven't liked this video yet, please stop, pause right here, go and like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone that you care about, or someone that you know has been struggling with booty growth, or just someone that wants a bigger butt. Because we are back to the gym soon, like very soon, like in a couple days time, and I'm gonna work on getting this video out before then, so you guys have these tips right on your screen so you can start to implement them ASAP Rocky. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.